So we're going to now look at rate of change with a function. So we're going to be plugging in the endpoints of this interval. So given an interval, we're going to plug in the endpoints and find that value for that rate of change. So we're going to use two examples. So for the first one, what we want to do, again, we're using the fact that we have the rate of change is defined as f of x2 minus f of x1 over x2 minus x1. So keeping in mind, we usually want x2 to be greater than x1. So looking at the interval that we have here for this cube root of 1 minus x, and I have 2 to 9, I'm going to have x2 as 9. So the way I'm going to set this up is I have f of 9 minus f of 2 all over 9 minus 2. So we now need to plug in the 9 into the cube root. So we have the cube root of 1 minus 9. Then I'm going to subtract when we plug in 2. So we have the cube root of 1 minus 2 all over the difference of 9 and 2 here. So that's going to be 7. Now simplify. So we have here cube root of negative 8 minus the cube root of negative 1 over 7. So we have, this would be negative 2 minus negative 1 over 7. And so this ends up being negative 1/7. We're going to do the exact same thing for the next example. Still using the fact we have f of x2 minus f of x1 over x2 minus x1, we look for the larger value. Interval is always set up from smallest value to largest value. So we already know this 1 plus h is going to be the larger of the two. So for this one, when we plug it in, I have f of 1 plus h minus f of 1 all over 1 plus h minus 1. So notice I parenthesize the term that has multiple terms in it, so that way I understand that this was a single term that I plugged in, right? So that's replacing the x2 part. So now this is equal to, so again, wherever I see x in my formula for my function, so this is the x, I'm going to be plugging in 1 plus h. So to remind myself of that, I have 1 over, and then I have a parenthesis for x plus 3. So then in the parentheses, I put 1 plus h. Okay, now I'm going to subtract f of 1. So plugging now 1, so parenthesis for the x plus 3, and putting in the 1. Now remember, this is all over the 1 plus h minus 1. So 1 plus h minus 1. I can drop the parentheses without any fear. Since I'm not needing to multiply by anything or distribute anything, I can go ahead and drop them. So now we can see in the denominator, I'm going to have the 1 and the negative 1 cancel. So that I'll only have h in the bottom. For the next ones, again, I'm going to show you this a little slower just to make sure everyone's with it. So 1, so drop again, I could drop the parentheses. So 1 plus h plus 3 minus then 1, and then 1 plus 3 over h. So now I'm going to shift this to the side because I have a feeling I'm going to need more space. Anyways, so what we're going to see here now is I'm going to gather together 1 and 3. So I'm going to have, and then on this other side, 1 plus 3. So I'm going to have is 1 over 4 plus h minus 1 over 4 all over h. Okay. Now, depending on how you want to do this, you can get a common denominator for all of this, or you can simply get a common denominator for just the top, okay, and combine those and then do the reciprocal whole thing. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. I'm going to go ahead and get the common denominator just for the numerator. So that means that's going to be 4 times 4 plus h. So 1 over And let me go ahead and write that out. So 1 times, so let me put that here. So lowest common denominator is 4 times 4 plus h. So the way we're going to get that is, so all the same denominator, so that common denominator, we're going to see, like I said, is that 4 plus h, and then that's going to all be over h. So now I'm going to try to get that numerator. So I'm going to have to multiply. This has a 4 plus h. So in my LCD, I have 4 times 4 plus h. So it's missing the 4. So I need to multiply this one by 4 minus. Now, looking at this denominator, what is it missing from the LCD is the 4 plus h. So I need to multiply this numerator, this 1, by 4 plus h. So that's 1 times 4 plus h. Okay. So now distributing the negative through, and as I thought, we're going to have this over here. So now I have 4 minus, then 4 minus h, all over, and then 4 times 4 plus h over h. And notice I have a 4 that will cancel with this 4. So I have negative h. Give myself a little more room. I have a negative h in that numerator over 4 times 4 plus h all over h. So that means I'm going to divide the h, which means that I multiply by the reciprocal. So that's negative h over 4 plus h. So negative h over 4 plus h, multiplying to the reciprocal of h, which is 1 over h. So notice that these h's now cancel, and we have negative 1 over, oops, I forgot the 4 here, 4 times 4 plus h. And that's it.